Hey, fella. A little high and tight, eh, fella? What's up, Ozzo? How we doing? We're just going to fucking roll it, baby. Episode 91. Cap's looking high and tight, man. Oh, my God. Episode 91. You don't got to dress up for me, baby. What's up? You got any?
Yeah. Oh, man, I went into the barber shop because look at my hair right now. It's fucking high and tight. I told him to make me look like a drill sergeant. I'm about to get more serious in my life. It's got to take things more seriously. Not going to fuck around anymore. So I'm like, give me a serious haircut. I showed him a picture of a buzz cut, and the barber's like, oh, so you want like a full personality transformation? And I'm like, yeah, I do. And they sat me down, and then I sat there, and right before he cut, he's like, dude, you sure you want me to do this? Like the full-on transformation? I'm like, yeah, buddy, I'm sure. Don't worry, it'll grow back if I don't like it.
So you went in there and you were like, just give me the World War II fade, is basically what you told him. I want to look like Brad Pitt in Inglorious Hung Bastards.
Yes.
That's what you said. I love it.
Exactly.
Were you just getting bored of the flow? Because sometimes, dude, the flow, I notice my hair grows out. So I get the afro. And to maintain that, I just get sick of it. I some days I wake up, I'm like, should I just buzz it or should I actually go see my barber? So was that part of the process with you? Because you had the slick back, but that's a lot of work. That's a lot of wear and tear on soap and conditioner.
Oh, drying off after, like drying the hair out after, soaping and conditioning it, doing it before the day when you wake up. It's just it's a lot of work. I think, I do look younger with the long hair, so I liked that as you get older. But I do like a big, when I go big on haircuts, I like to go big, I like to look like a completely different person. It's almost like you're into a different character now, like I haven't been smiling as much. I've been kind of snapping on guys, like keeping them in line.
Yep. That's huge with there. That's huge with that haircut.
Yeah, like after the wedding gauntlet, as it's not fully over yet, but I feel like we're past the thick of it. That's where I was like, you know what, I had my fun. I had the long hair. I was flowing. I was sweating, slicking it back. And now it's time to get serious.
Yeah, because you almost had the all-American dude look, right? With the flow, have the golden retriever, great looking dude, no ditty. But now you're like, I'm past my pretty boy phase. And now it's time where a lot of people relax. July, August. You're rolling up the fucking sleeves until Labor Day.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, that's exactly what I wanted to do. And you're right. I did look like, the kind of guy that I'm sure I'm walking into these restaurants, Jordan. I'm walking into a bar, wherever I'm walking into, Target, whatever. People are probably looking over at me with my long hair like, oh, look at this douchebag. Thinks he looks so cool with his hair. And you can kind of feel that presence. You can feel that in the air when you walk into a place. Now when I walk into a place, people are like, oh, probably not going to fuck with that guy.
Yeah, because those guys too, and especially when you get on the other side of 30 that we're both at now, Ozzo, is when you become the long hair guy after 30 years old with the flow, you're immediately, you might not be getting chirped to your face, but everyone, I guarantee you, that doesn't know you is chirping you behind your back.
100%, and you know it. Like, I mean, you know they're doing it, and you're like, I don't care. Like the ladies do like the long hair, but now I'm married, and I was like, I don't give a shit now.
Yeah, because it's just the long hair when you're a 45-year-old guy. Most guys are envy of you or jealous because a lot of times they're balding or they have a receding hairline or there's just different things. They can't pull that off anymore. So a lot of people immediately get jealous of the guys with the long hair that are above 30 years old or even 40 years old because that pyramid, as you know, narrows. So you're like at the golf course or something and you walk in the pro shop and obviously you got your shoulders back, just looking around, it's probably smiling. Someone's mad. Like they're like, this fucking douchebag.
Oh, someone's pissed off. Like, buddy, yeah, nice hair. We get it. Like some guy who's like barely hanging on. He's got a cul-de-sac. He won't shave the sides because he's like, I still got some hair. But that guy's pissed. Like when he sees me walking in, especially when I take my hat off, just like in front of him. I used to take my hat off, Jordan, like just push my hair back because I knew these guys were watching. So I'm like, yeah, you probably think I'm bald under here, buddy. Take my hat off. No, full head of hair. Let me stroke it for you.
Yeah.
Let me feel it for you.
You want to run your fingers?
Yeah, let me make you think about turkey a little bit, buddy.
Yeah. You want to run your hands through this thing, fella? Get some fingers in here. That's what I was just gonna say that also. If you were going bald, okay, say now at 30, would you be a guy looking on Expedia at maybe getting over to Turkey for a Turkish hair plant? Would you be looking online, or would you just be like, fuck it, this was the hand I'm dealt, I'm going to stay on my soft 12 and hope the dealer busts?
That's a great question, because
it's such a hypothetical, but if you were bald,
it's nails to accept the baldness, though.
It is. It's nails to accept the baldness. I think it's also different if you're single or you're married too.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's still pretty nails if you're just like our good buddy Clark Saunders, who has just been bald since probably 23 years old. But he looks good with a bald head.
He does.
He's one of those. He's a small percentage of the bald head community that actually looks better with no hair than he did with hair. I've seen him pre and post baldness. He looks better bald.
Remember seeing that picture of him with hair? It was it was disturbing.
Yeah, he had like one of those Hawaiian necklaces on. What are they called?
Yeah, those puka shell.
Yeah, the puka shell necklace on. I was like, Dale, that's you, dude. Like, number one, you were wearing Aeropostale, and two, like, you had hair. What was that?
Like, buddy, you look like. Thank God you don't have any hair anymore. I don't know if I would have been friends with him if he had hair when I met him.
I know, and that's what my sister saw that picture I posted with Dale and us, and she's like, Clarky looks younger somehow. Like,
he does.
So he looks better bald, but I'm saying to you, like, for me, I don't know, man, because it's hard. Like, I guess, but I don't think I'd have any shame in getting the transplant. That's the thing. I'd be like, yeah, I gotta, I have to. I mean, I'm a 6. I need all this hair I can get.
Yeah, and I think it depends on, like, if you're a guy going bald and you can't grow a beard.
Yeah.
Then I'm like, you better head to Turkey because you're fucked.
Yeah.
Bald guy needs a beard every once in a while. I feel like, if you don't have a beard, then it's like, it's a tough look. But
yeah, because then you're just down to the skin. You're a skinless chicken breast both ways.
Yeah, and it's a little bit of a weird look, but yeah, I don't shame anyone for going to Turkey. I think that's your call if you want to do that. I mean, more power to you if you like your hair that much, but
I think more dudes, it should be normalized more. Like, dudes shouldn't feel bad about having it slide over to Turkey if they have to.
No, I don't think no one should be chirping you for that. If you want a full head of hair and they're supplying it in Turkey and you want to take a flight over there, more power to you.
Right. And it's not that expensive. My only worry would be like, while I'm down for the count, I don't know if they knock you out or not. I think they have an option to be sedated, but I would be worried, are they taking a liver, or they taking a kidney from me? Because it is cheaper over there, but what is the benefit for them? Why is it cheaper? Is it just because it's a different country, we're overseas, or are they putting a microchip in my back and then sending that information back to Putin? Like, what's going on and why is it cheaper? Like, don't touch my organs. I know it says on my driver's license I am an organ donor. That is until I am dead. Right now, you can't take anything.
Yeah, and you wouldn't know either.
No.
It wouldn't be. I'm not sure about Turkey, but like if you go to Mexico, I've heard, and you just get a random surgery, like there's a 50-50 shot of you just missing an organ after.
Yeah, they end up putting like a toaster in place of your kidney. Shit's like, and then it's going off when you're going through TSA, the metal detector. And you're like, what's in my body right now? Why is there a George Foreman grill on the side of my torso? Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it does get a little dicey, especially over in Turkey. You don't know much about Turkey. Like, it seems okay.
Yeah.
But it's also a country where, like, there's probably not that many rules there.
Yeah. Isn't it crazy, too? Like, Istanbul, Turkey it's basically the bridge between Europe and Asia. Like, it connects the worlds together. It's pretty crazy. Like, I've heard it's beautiful. It's fun. It's safe until the sun goes down. I don't know, bro. I would be down. I don't know. I'm not in position to get a hair transplant quite yet. Maybe if I wanted to add some back hair and things like that, I could do it. But
yeah, do you think they could do like chest hair? Because I can't really get chest. Like, that'd be sick to have some chest hair.
Yeah, I got some. I can give you some if you want it.
I'll take some.
I'll sell you some of my fur. We can get it matched up because I'm looking to get rid of some fur on the chest. But yeah, dude, I've heard good things about Turkey. I think the beaches are nice. I know a ton of Russian guys obviously go there for vacation. I think it's a place people slide, especially even in the Scandinavias of the world where the beaches are beautiful.
It's like right across Sochi, isn't it?
Yeah, and the Baltic Sea's there. I think it's pretty nice, man. I think and it's relatively cheap.
Yeah, I mean, I do think if I was losing my hair, I'd probably be a guy that'd be looking into it.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think you're right. Azo, we are always brought to you by Butter Golf and Mini Movers. Mini Movers, the official moving company of Live and 5. If you need something packed, if you need something moved across town, across state, North Dakota, Minnesota, Wisconsin, or you can get a free quote from wherever you're going, call the captain of Mini Movers, minimovers.com, Mini Movers on social media, all the Instagram, you got Twitter, go check them out. Mini Movers, the captain right here sitting across your chin. Always brought to you by Butter Golf. Butter Golf, the official apparel and lifestyle brand over here at Live and 5. Episode 91 this week, folks. No guest. Obviously, we had Troy Stetcher last week. Go check that out if you haven't yet while getting caught up with Live and 5. Right up at the top before we get into the weather over here in Scottsdale, Azo, we're dealing with a little bit of a copyright issue on one of our episodes on Spotify. And I am, I guess, the copyright boy to this point. I don't want to get on the hockey night specifics, but the Live and 5 front over here, we got flagged for, I think, a music violation. So right now, people can't find us on Spotify. I'm getting DMs, I'm getting texts, I'm getting calls, and people are wondering, where is Live and 5 on Spotify? Well, to answer your question, we submitted our claim. It's from episode 7. I don't even know exactly what the music was on there, but it was an episode we did with Schloss. That's Brad Elliott Schlossman from the Grand Forks Herald, the best beat writer in college hockey. And we got flagged. And for whatever reason, not only did we get flagged, we got terminated right now, I guess, temporarily off of Spotify. So I don't know what's going on. They got something out for Jay Swish right now, just everyone everywhere. I guess that's what happens when you become the number one show, Azo. But yeah, dude, we're just working through that. So I just wanted to give an update for the people.
Why episode 7?
I have no idea.
And like, why now? I just don't. Did they actually hire someone in Spotify's corporate office to take a look at all of our episodes and go through them? Or do they have some AI machine doing it? I don't know.
I think it's probably an AI machine, and it's probably a clean sweep through, or it was someone that manually entered it. Now, listen, I haven't literally had time to go check out what that song was even. There's a couple songs we used in there, and I don't want to say them out loud, honestly. But I don't know, bro. I'm not sure. It seems like for whatever reason, it wasn't the artist that flagged it, though. It was, again, some company. So I have no idea. Usually, Azo, that doesn't result in your entire account being suspended or terminated temporarily, but that's where we're at right now. So people that are trying to find us on Spotify can't. So go on YouTube, go check our show out there. It's still on YouTube. It's still on Apple. But right now, the appeal has been submitted and we're waiting to hear back. So that's what I got on that front. Yeah, I don't know.
You might have someone out for you, Jordan.
I know. I have no idea.
You got a hater or something? Like, yeah, I don't know. That's just weird.
Yeah, so we should get that sorted out. Again, we're obliging by everything. Again, we'll take the song off the episode, all that good stuff. We just want to be back up and running. So when we know, we'll give you guys an update. But yeah, I don't know. The copyright kid is all over the place right now. But Azo, I want to talk to you about something, fella. Scottsdale, Arizona. Now I'm back after 10 days. And before July 1st, it's bearable. It's 100. The odd day you'll catch it to 106, maybe 107, and then it jets down to 98, 99. And in Arizona, I can do that, right? That's fine with me. All good. It's a little hot, but it takes a while for that to warm up throughout the day. The mornings are actually not that bad. It's mid 80s, and then it heats up pretty good. Right now, dude, tomorrow, people will hear this, 116 is the high. Like,
you can't go outside.
No, and that's my thing is, yeah, beggars can't be choosers, and you can't have it all. That's the number one tale's oldest time of life, Ozzo, is you can't have it all. We have it great here for 9 months. So I'm not bitching in the sense of that, but I think it's almost a bigger tease when it looks beautiful out and it's 116 versus being in Winnipeg, say in February, where it's just a blizzard and the wind's going at 40 miles an hour. You know what I mean? Like it looks beautiful. And then I step outside and I'm not a pussy, but you actually can't do it when it's that hot.
How would you compare it to like on a scale of 1 to January in Forks, like a -20 wind chill day?
Right. But see, the thing is I would rather be in Forks because I'm looking outside and it doesn't look appetizing. This looks appetizing. It's just you don't, once you bite into it,
that's true.
It's the same effect. You can't be outside longer than probably 10 minutes. Every time you get in your car, if you leave your car parked outside, your seatbelt's going to brand you. Like I literally just sparked a joint off my Apple Watch when I went for a walk across the street. Like it's that hot.
Oh, I believe it. Probably you definitely cook eggs out there.
Yeah, you can. I tweeted yesterday you can cook a turkey in your glove compartment. So, and there's no one here right now. All the rich people. It's a destination. It's a snowbird town. So there's nobody here.
You think those psycho college students are still going out in Old Town on the weekends? Like,
for sure.
Yeah.
Well,
someone got to be dying. Dehydration.
Bro, yeah, I mean, we used to golf in the 117 down here when we would come down here for golf trips. That was insane.
You have a wet towel on your back at all times. You're still just torched.
Like I still have snaps on my phone of the temperature and like in your memories. It was 117, 118. I was like, what were we doing golfing at that? Well, we were retarded, but I'm just saying, yeah, it's too hot though, bro. And it kind of, I don't know. It almost is like you got to get out of here for the summer kind of thing. Like I'm sitting here. I'm like, this is my second summer doing it, right? So before I'd be playing, but yeah, now I'm trying to get acclimated to this. I mean, again, you can't have everything, Ozzo. It's beautiful.
And you just left Wisconsin, so it doesn't really get better than that. So now you're like, you've got to touch it to paradise almost.
Yep.
This time of year, and now you're going down to that. It's got to be harder to deal with versus if you never left.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you're right. We got a live show in Boston this week for our show about a show, which I'm fired up about. But how was your 4th? Did you send it or did you take it easy? I mean, you just got out of the wedding gauntlet, so I can imagine.
I got out of the wedding gauntlet and I bought a house not last week, the week before, the week of the wedding. So the past weekend, I've just been spent like unpacking shit and kind of setting up stuff, moving stuff in. I didn't do much. I did go over to Besser's house for the 4th. Had a good time with those boys. He had a couple of his buddies shooting off fireworks at the end of the night. Hilarious. They couldn't figure out how to get them off the ground, so they're all just blowing up. Like everyone's hitting the ground for cover because they're all blowing up like 5 feet off the ground.
Oh yeah, you could become Jason Pierre-Paul pretty quick.
Oh, 100%. And there's always someone. There's someone at my parents' lake that blew off his arm.
Yeah, there's always somebody, isn't it?
There's always someone. That's why I don't have any want to be the guy lighting the fireworks.
No.
Like, I'll watch them, but like, let me have other guy light them.
Stetch was around too, wasn't he?
Yeah, I was sitting with Stetch, Hayden Shaw. He's got a little kid running around. It's pretty hilarious. And then Bess. So it's kind of us four, Bess's buddies there. It was like a cabin party. Some people are in the water. Some people are playing beer pong. Some people were kind of sitting on the deck talking. It was nice. It was a nice little cool down from, those weddings, like you just go so hard during those things. It's just, it was nice to like not go that hard.
Yeah, no, just chill, kick your dogs up. That was kind of my weekend too. Ozzo, you got the house now, you're moving in. Congrats on that, by the way. So it's got a nice sauna in there. Are you going on a honeymoon, or is this kind of just what we're looking at? We got obviously a Rhett Gardner wedding coming up, Stetch in the mix. So do you even have time for that, bro?
No, I didn't even want to go on a honeymoon either. Like, get married in the summer and you're in Minnesota where it's as nice as it's ever gonna get. It'd be so dumb to leave like this time of year. what, you leave somewhere hot and sweaty and go somewhere hot and sweaty, like
Right.
what's
That's
the
true.
point? So we're waiting till I think we're gonna go to Cabo in October.
Oh, nice.
So that should be a good time.
Yeah, I was even thinking a sick honeymoon. I don't know if the ladies would want to do it, but like a ski trip, that would be pretty fun.
Oh, be all
Go
time.
Jackson Hole or somewhere
Oh,
nice.
yeah.
You know where I want to get to? I mean, we're all over the place right now, but Telluride. Telluride looks mint. Have you been there?
No, never been there. I need to get there too.
Oh,
Yeah,
it
that
looks
place looks
unreal.
unreal.
I heard the skiing's great too.
Yeah, skiing. I've heard great things about that place. Fuck, talking about skiing now. God
I
damn.
know. We're talking
How
about
fun does that sound?
talking about skiing in July.
Sounds unbelievable.
It sounds so good. I wake up probably 3 days out of the week, Oz, and I'm thinking about skiing because I missed my trip this past year because Mikey Schmaltz got hurt. He tore his meniscus at Orange Theory. So
Yeah.
I missed my ski trip with him. I did get a couple touches in, yes, but I missed the big trip to Jackson Hole. So I've been fiending ever since. But yeah, there's nothing better than ski trips. But let's get back to the 4th of July here. Did you happen to watch the greatest athlete of all time, Joey Chestnut, in his return to Coney Island, in his return to the Nathan's hot dog eating competition, the legend, the iconic starter of the Major League Eating, George Shea, with an absolutely unbelievable intro. Please let me reintroduce the 17-time champion, now 18-time champion, Joey Joseph Jaws Chestnut. I mean, the next closest guy was Webby. Webby, the Aussie, I believe, was at 46 in a hook hot dogs, or was that guy that won the year prior when I was boots on the ground, Patrick Bordelelli, whatever the fuck his name is, 48 and a half, 46 and a half, somewhere in there. But wow, what an absolute clinic by Jaws. Good to see him back where he belongs on Coney Island. Did you catch that, fella? It was poetry in motion.
I didn't catch it live, Jordo, but I watched the highlights, and I always listen to the Pardon My Take episode before the 4th of July because they have Joey on.
Yep.
And Jordo, I started the first time I ever listened. I can't remember how many years they've been doing this, but the first time I listened to them, they kind of make jokes about like you're the greatest American athlete of all time.
Yep.
And he's like completely serious about it. But now it used to be funny to me. Now I'm like, he actually fucking might be. I mean, he's putting on a clinic. How is he still doing it?
I mean, when you think of the greats, and I mean, you have to throw in Major League Eating as a sport, I think. I mean, we had Ed Cookie Jarvis on, and that was about a year ago to this point, maybe a little less. And just the amount of training that goes into it, the amount of putting your body on the line physically and mentally for the better part of becoming a champion. Like, there's a lot that goes into this. Like, Joey Chestnut could probably, like, if you examine his body, someone might say, dude, you probably have like 3 years left to live. There's the amount of stress you put on your barrel.
I was thinking that the whole time, like, how long is this guy going to live? And does he have like doctors looking at him, making sure all the vitals are working properly? What are the steps to that? Because what he's doing to his body is worse than any athlete. It's got to be worse than being a boxer.
Yeah. I mean, I just like think about, and also it doesn't stop at the Nathans. Like that is their Augusta, right? The hot dog eating competition on July 4 is their Masters. Okay. So think about all the little tournaments or little competitions you're entering at, say, the Shreveport Outlet Mall, where you're eating, jalapeno poppers till failure. And you're doing that every weekend. You're in Mobile, Alabama. You're in Georgia. You're in, say somewhere in South Dakota. You're in Brookings, South Dakota at a fucking Nike factory store outside of that, in a parking lot with a tent. You're just mucking, say, corn dogs. Like the people don't realize all the small events. And then on top of that, the training that goes into it. These guys, Azo, will do anything for $5,000. They really will. Like they'll be in, say upstate New York and Albany, and then they're flying across the country, coach somewhere to go do something in Tucson, Arizona to eat tamales. Like this is what people see, but they don't see the true grind
No.
of greatness of Joey Chestnut.
Yeah, and I've heard some of that training they do, Jordan. It's insane. I was listening to like uh, Chestnut was saying on Pardon My Take, he does the 10 minutes, his training before the Nathans. He does the 10-minute hot dog challenge, and then after that, he eats 10 more hot dogs when he's already full, just to train his body to like know that he's got to keep eating when he's full. And I don't know if you've ever eaten till failure, Jordan. I have a few times after maybe a couple edibles.
Yep.
Late night. How sick do you feel?
Oh,
like you are dead.
Dude, the next day you can't even trust a fart, man, because just things that you didn't even know are coming out of you. How many dogs do you think, if you went on that stage, how many dogs and buns could you do? 15?
10 minutes. I was thinking 20.
20 would be pretty good, brother.
You push yourself. Give me like a week to train. I don't even know how I train though. That's the thing. You got to keep a good gut when you're going in.
Right.
But I think I could do 20. Like what's that? 2 dogs a minute?
Yeah. Yeah, it's 2 dogs. And that's one of the greater stats. And I'm an eye test guy, also I always have been. I'm not a part of the analytical community, but when ESPN throws up the dogs per minute stat, now that's a great stat. When you're watching and you see Joey Chestnut, he's in and around 11 dogs per minute until about that 5-minute marker, and then he tails off to about 8 or 9. The dogs per minute stat is one of the best stats. I think one of the best analytical stats of all time.
Dogs per minute.
Dogs per minute.
How do you get that many? You see that all these people talking about who would win in a race, Joey Chestnut or Usain Bolt in a 100-meter dash, if they both had to eat a hot dog before they went. For some reason, when I saw that, I was just thinking, why would Usain Bolt not win? You could bury a hot dog in what? How long does it take you to eat a hot dog?
Yeah, just one.
Just one? Like you just push it down your. Do you have to swallow it before you start running, or can you just push it in your mouth and start going?
Right. Yeah, and the way that Chestnut funnels too, he's 2 at a time. So he's 2 in, and then he's 2 buns, and then he's 2 in. I think the craziest thing is you have to hold it down for a certain amount of time afterwards too. Like you can't puke. Like you're on stage and you have your entire barrel just maxed out, and what do? You're just, and then you do an interview after. And the most impressive thing about Chestnut too is he's been on the record and says he has a couple beers that night.
Yeah, he says he like takes a nap or just lays in bed until it gets dark and colder out, and then he goes out for the night in New York.
He gets drunk.
He gets hammered. How
do you drink beer after you just had 71 hot dogs and buns? I think the hot dog is impressive, but the bun, even if you soak it, you know how much bread that is in your barrel? Think about that, man. The
bun's the toughest part. The dog's easy.
Yeah, I think the dog's easy. I mean, if we're speaking relatively.
Yeah. The bun, that's what's going to fuck you up.
Yeah. It's insane. And how many years does he not only have left to live, but how many more years can he do it at the level of, say, at least 60 dogs? Because I mean, that guy, he could win that competition in 6 minutes if he had to.
Yeah, he's dusting everyone else there. It's not even close still, and it's been 18 years or whatever it's been. Is Major League Eating falling off, or is there not? Like, how is there not a guy who's come along that is challenging him in this contest? It's hard to believe. Is he that good?
He is that good, but I was talking about that too, and we were watching it live with my cousin, brother, sis, and the fam. Also, don't you think he would be better off if he had someone to push him, like a Kobayashi right there? I think his numbers would increase, because it's like you running the mile on the treadmill by yourself versus someone pushing you the whole time, or maybe even running behind someone.
Yes, you just naturally you push yourself harder.
You elevate your game, right?
Yeah, you elevate your game. You just feel that. And he doesn't have anyone elevating his game. He's battling the man in the mirror.
Yeah, that's crazy, because theoretically he could just stop again, probably after 6 minutes and win the competition, and he'd still win by a dozen dogs.
Yeah, he's always just trying to chase that record, though.
I know his goal is always 50 dogs at the 5-minute marker. Isn't that insane? Like he wants to be at 50. But also, I don't buy the last year's stat though when he did it by himself on that phantom dog competition he did.
No.
He said he got 83. There's no way.
No.
But I also thought we were talking again before he went off. I thought he was going to be nervous, and after he finished up, he said he was nervous because you're back, man. You don't know how you're going to react when you get on to Coney Island. I've been boots on the ground there. It's a different vibe.
It's like playing golf in front of the gallery versus by yourself. You don't know what the hell's going to happen in front of the gallery.
No, but I think it's fair to say that Chestnut is. I don't know if he's Mount Rushmore like of greatest American athletes, but he's just off of Mount Rushmore. I think he is.
18 times now. The 18 times.
Yep, 18-time champion.
I mean, and if we're counting guys like Michael Phelps and we're counting F1 drivers driving cars as athletes, there's no reason. Yeah, there's no reason Joey Chestnut is not considered an athlete.
Tennis players.
Yeah.
F1, boxing. I'm trying to think of other sports that, I mean, even track, dude. You're just running. Like, come on, give me a break.
Like, is this slap league considered? Are you an athlete then? The slap league?
You're a bowler. You're a dart player. You're an athlete.
Yeah. What's the line? What's
pickleball? Pickleball, I guess, is a sport too.
Yeah, I mean,
I would say Major League Eating is more of a sport than pickleball.
For sure.
Hot take.
But you're actually risking your body. You're putting your body on the line.
100%. And there's no like the glory in that. I mean, it's taken Chestnut 17 or 18 years in a row to win, to cash out on a mini size bag. It's not like it's life changing. It is life changing money in a sense of, I think he almost got like $1 million, but you're not retiring on that, really. You're probably not. It's like like
the sponsors aren't that great. Like the endorsement deals that these major league eaters get, that it ain't great.
I think if he could talk and articulate better, he would be way more marketable. But he's just a dude that likes to eat from outside of Indianapolis, man.
Yeah, and I think people just take it as a joke too, because it kind of it is a little bit. There's people out there starving, and he's eating 70 dogs in 10 minutes. It's like,
right. But
can we support? But
is there anything more American though than an all-you-can-eat buffet? No. And that's basically what it is.
Oh yeah, it's incredible. They're not gonna hold that tournament over in Pakistan or anything, but
no,
it's American sport.
We have a listener that tweets at us from time and time again, Ozzo, on the Live and 5 account, that apparently he knows Joey Chestnut, and he goes to like these high school football games where this guy, the fan, teaches at or something like that. So it would be such a bucket list to get Joey on the show.
Oh, it'd be all time, because he's so game time. He's so game 7 whenever you talk to him about eating too. He's so serious about it. And his walkout. How was his walkout this year, Jordo?
So good. So
he walks out just like, he's scary.
I mean, yeah, 2022. They were going to call it off for lightning, and he said, "We're doing this fucking thing." And he walked out. It was just incredible, like the montage you see from that. How about in 2019 when he choked out a protester and kept going and still got like 66 dogs? Like he just fucking choked out a guy that stormed the stage and still won it by a landslide. Like the guy, to not have him in the conversation as greatest athletes of all time, you'd be a fool, I think, to say that.
Yeah, there's training, there's strategy, there's compete, there's your body's on the line. It checks all the boxes to be an athlete.
100%. Ozzo, we're going to slide it over to the ice. We just had to honor Joey Chestnut, one of the greatest athletes of all time. Put some respect on that man's name. Ozzo, on the college hockey front, Gavin McKenna going to Penn State. Rumors are he got about $700,000 to go there. Your thoughts on that? we obviously know he's a hell of a player. UND's got a couple of good players coming in too, but were you surprised that he's going to Penn State? And were you surprised that ultimately he chose the college hockey route over staying with the Medicine Hat Tigers?
But I wasn't really surprised in either, just from the reports I was seeing. Now, if you didn't know anything about college hockey and what type of donors Penn State has, you would think it's a really random choice because Penn State doesn't really have any tradition behind their program. But at the end of the day, it definitely didn't have anything to do with any of that. It was just, it seemed like they were the highest bidder. I saw, you never know what you believe, what to believe online with these figures that they're throwing out there, because no one really knows for sure. But I have heard Penn State does have a huge donor that's willing to pay whatever for these guys. So I'm sure he got $700K, and people are looking at Jordan. People are looking at that as like that's a lot for college hockey, and they're like, well, they better win the national championship now if they're paying that much. Well, folks, there's a lot more that goes into this than winning the national championship next year. Penn State, this is a player that, I mean, he could turn out to be a McDavid or a Crosby. He's kind of touted as that player. So you get this guy in your program, how much does this benefit you in the years to come, in the next decade, and the decade after that, even when you got his jersey hanging up in the rafters, and you're like, Gavin McKenna played here. I mean, it's a big deal. So I don't think they overpaid for the kid at all. If he's for what he's advertised as. I mean, you never know if he's going to pan out. It seems like he will. He's pretty much a lock at number one. And Jordo, I wasn't surprised to see him come the college route, just because how many points did he put up in the dub last year as a 16-year-old or whatever? I think it was like 3 points a game or something ridiculous. How is he supposed to go back to that league? What's he going to do? Put up 5 points a game? What's he playing? Mites? You got to move up. You got to play something better. And in college hockey, there's no argument. It's just it's a better and more mature game than the junior game is. I'm not saying the CHL obviously has a ton of really good talent. They're all just younger kids. The college, this guy's going to be battling 25-year-olds in the corner. It's going to be good for his step to the NHL after next year. So I thought it was a great play by Penn State getting him. I thought it was a great decision by him coming to college. Now, I can't believe a school like Michigan or even Minnesota wouldn't offer that, but
pony up.
Maybe they don't need to, though, Jordan. Like, this is a play for the future for Penn State. They don't have any tradition right now. They got nothing. They just started out. It's a great play by them to be like, hey, you guys want to come play college hockey? Gavin McKenna came here.
Yeah, I mean, he had 129 and 56 last year. That's good for, like you said, about 2.5 points per game. Also, I think the other thing, too, you look at is he's a late birthday, right? So the 2000s, a lot of them got drafted this year, but he's born in December. So he'll turn 18 this December. And I think not only for his on-ice development to play against bigger, faster, stronger players and level up.
Yeah, good point.
I also think it helps him off the ice. I think it helps him to the point where he's not living with a billet parent. I think it helps him, grow up a little bit, live with other guys, whether that's in the dorm or a house. I know a lot of these kids, they don't even live in the dorms anymore, but if you're in the dorm, you're living on your own. You're learning different things. You might have to do your laundry once a month. You might have to make your bed. You might have to do these things, grocery shop, whatever it is. And you get outside of that junior life. The junior life, Azo, it's pretty vanilla. It's something that, I think a lot of times, a lot of young pros, they struggle with because they don't even know how to, get an apartment. They don't know what to do, pay a bill, electrical bill. They don't know how to get cable. They don't know you have to go to a furniture shop and maybe
you got to fill the fridge. You got to
right.
do all these things.
You got to do so many different things where, basically in junior, you're getting your ass wiped. But you know what? One school I was surprised. You mentioned Minnesota. You mentioned some of the Blue Bloods, but if you're Gavin McKenna, I might be calling old Greg Powers at ASU and be like, hey, fella, can you match this offer? Because I know you got a lot of money and you got way more money in this conference than you do over there in any other school in the NCHC. Could you see a scenario where maybe McKenna ended up at ASU. I have a hard time thinking old GP didn't inquire on this player.
Yeah, you got to believe he tried.
For
GP,
100% he did.
Powers is a guy who had to have tried, and he had to have reached out to his donors and said, "Hey, if we get this guy,
right,
we're big time."
Because it's the same thing that you mentioned with Penn State. Sorry, quickly, Azo, is you got to build that tradition. And I think any amount of money with a school like Penn State or ASU, where they're so new, coming from club, is a player like this is worth any sort of dollar figure.
Yeah, they really are. I don't think it would have made sense for a program like the Gophers, the Michigan, or even UND. Because what are you going to add to? You already got all these NHLers in the school, and you got so much tradition. You don't need to pay for that. Whereas Penn State and ASU, they're bidding for this guy who's he is the tradition, basically. And yeah, I would be surprised. I'd like to hear Powers' take on that. I guarantee you he had the donors lined up.
Yeah, because it sounded like it came down to Michigan State and Penn State, and those make sense because Michigan State obviously trying to get back to where they were, once in the early 2000s, late 90s. That makes sense, but I still think it's a good school. I don't know a ton about Penn State, Azo. Do you? I know Happy Valley's a hell of a time. I know they do well at Pagula Ice Arena in terms of their fan support. I just don't know a ton about their program. I mean, they made it to the Frozen Four this year. They had a solid team, but I'm unfamiliar with just everything Nittany Lions. I know I hate their fucking helmets.
I don't know anything about the town. I remember we played Penn State when I was at the program, and it was still in their like club hockey rink, so they didn't even have their arena now. I know nothing about it. I don't know anything about the city. I've just heard that they like to get after it at Penn State. The students have fun there. It's not really known for its schooling, which is probably good for a kid like this because let's be honest, we're talking about a 5-star recruit going to Alabama. They ain't thinking about school.
No,
and this kid ain't thinking about school. He's thinking about hockey.
Yeah, one and done for sure. If say he plays 35 games, 70 points, are you taking the over-under on a player like this for the season?
Well, he's playing in the Big Ten, higher scoring league. I'd have to. I'd take that under.
Like, wasn't Eichel's
right there? Well, wasn't he like 70 or 69, 68 or something?
Because Ike's was the same thing where he was a late birthday. He was October 28th, 96. He plays 1 year. He played 40 games. He had 71 points.
Yeah, so it's going to be close. The thing about Eichel that I don't see in McKenna is when Eichel went into college, we're talking about a kid who was 6'2", 195, power cleaning 350 pounds. I don't think McKenna's doing that.
Right.
Which that body helps you in college when you're playing 25-year-olds. He seems like a smaller guy. I don't think he's going to have any issue adjusting to the game. It's just going to be it is going to be a step up from when he was just playing in the WHL. I mean, you're not going to be playing against 15-year-olds.
No, and I was watching the dub and I was watching the Memorial Cup, just all the best teams in Canada, major, junior. Also, there was so much time out there. Like it was.
Oh yeah.
I'm not saying those leagues are bad, but they're not college.
No, it's
there was
not
so much time and space for that kid.
Yeah, you're not. He's not going to have that luxury. I don't know. I don't even know who he's going to play with. I think if he would have went to Michigan State, he would have had probably better line mates.
Yep. I think Penn State's got this kid from Madison. His name's like JJ Weirtrich or something like that. I'm butchering the last name, but he's a pretty good player. I just don't know a ton of players on Penn State. And like you said, Ozzo, he's about 165, 170. Yeah. Where Eichel was a physical specimen. Where as a freshman, if you're going into the corner with Eichel, even me being a junior, he was stronger than me, like significantly.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Which is crazy.
Yeah, which is crazy. And I'm not saying that's going to stop him from being a great player. You look at like a guy like Johnny Gaudreau, Johnny Hockey, he steps in his freshman year. He had a good season, but he wasn't the Hobey Baker winner, which I tweeted out today. I mean, How do you not, if you're college hockey, you probably already have his name written on the Hobie Baker, because just for like the history books, and like we got this #1 overall draft pick from Canada as our Hobie Baker winner, that you kind of have to do it. I know our boy Keaton Verhoff at North Dakota is supposed to go 2 or 3 or something, but that's a defenseman. He ain't going to win the Hobie.
Yeah, and this kid, too, he can still play World Juniors. He can still do all the things Team Canada related. He could even go play World Championships after the year to theoretically boost his stock as the #1 overall pick. Not that he would need to do that, but those options are all there with a little bit of a shorter season and more time to spend in the weight room and practice getting better. I just think for college hockey as a whole, I mean, what a win. Like, think about all the kids coming up, and especially if it goes as planned for McKenna, where he lights it up. He has a great year, what we all wish for in college hockey. Think about the eyes just drawn to the college game. And now every kid in Canada, if they're that #1 overall pick, they're like, fuck, shit, I'm going to play 2 years in the major juniors. Then I'm going to go get about $1 million because today's price ain't yesterday. So it'll go up and I can cash out and make more than my entry-level contract, essentially, just playing college hockey, whacking broad, scoring goals, and then I'll go play in the show. Like, how sick is that?
It's so sick. And I was thinking about this. It's obviously the best thing probably to ever happen to college hockey, I would say. Just having that highly touted of a player come to college hockey from Canada, leave juniors, where you know all those kids that grow up in Canada, they dream about playing in the CHL. You know, that's what their goal is during the time. Obviously, it's NHL after that, but can you imagine the war room inside the CHL, the WHL, the OHL right now? Like they got to be shaking in their boots. They're like, this ain't good. We got to start a university up here and try to get into this game because we're not going to be able to compete with this.
Yeah, it's like a bunch of chicks in Seattle with meeting up at the Costco with their Subarus after Donald Trump got elected, right? It's like,
this ain't good.
This ain't good. They ain't happy. Like they're
and you got Verhoff coming in, and you might have 2 of your own players, 1 and 2, drafted in the NHL playing college. You don't think the Canadian kids are watching those two guys? They're screwed.
So how does the CHL, if you're playing devil's advocate, how do they pony up? Because they don't have the funds to keep these players. They don't have the boosters of the alumni to do it like a university would. So are they?
They can keep a $30,000 guy around, maybe
even 50, maybe
first round 20th overall pick. Like, hey, we'll give you 35, 40K.
Yep.
You might stay if he's playing close to home.
Sure.
But those top 5 draft picks, who's saying no to this money?
And 700 if you're in Canada too. That's almost $10 million. The way their dollar's going up there in China does. Like, it's crazy.
Insane.
Yeah, good for him. Way to cash out. And lastly on McKenna, how does that stipend come through? Is it just like a signing bonus, or is it month to month? Is he getting 30, 40 grand a month for 8 months?
I'd be very curious to see how that deal works out.
Right?
Do you get it up front?
I would say show me the fucking money. Put it in my account.
Put it in my account right now and I'll come.
Right. I'll sign right now.
I'm not signing until it's in my account. When it's in my account, I'll sign.
Imagine that day up there. He's from the Yukon. Oh my God. That's not a bad sheet, fella. So.
Imagine being a 17-year-old, $700K.
Yeah.
not even drafted yet. What do you like? And
Can't
this
even
isn't
booze.
We're talking about a guy who probably isn't going to booze with the boys. He's probably so laser focused on hockey. How do you take care of the boys there? Is he just buying the cases for every party they have after sweeps?
And you're so young too. I mean, you're 17.
Your parents have to be monitoring. Your parents have to be managing that money, right?
For sure. You're a minor.
Like they're probably just giving you an allowance each month, and then they're just putting the rest in the bank or something.
Yeah, I mean, especially with the amount of scratch he's going to be making, hopefully. Maybe he gives his parents like 300 of it or something.
Yeah, like here, you guys can actually just take this. So I'll probably be okay.
Like get in the house and pay him 300. So you don't, when you sign the big ticket for 15 a year, you don't have to give him like 7. You don't turn into Jack Johnson where they're just taking all your money. Get the house early, fella. Yeah. I got the appies. Yeah, I got them. You're like the guy, just, the guy on the golf trip trying to get out the door at like the first stop for lunch. Yeah, it's on me. I got it.
First stop, trying to get lunch no, I got the first cases, boys. Then I'm good for the weekend, eh?
You're soaking.
You got the espresso martinis at the bar later.
Yeah, you're soaking the $200 bill, so you don't have to soak the $20,000 bill. That's classic. Getting in the house. It's all about getting in the house. Speaking of getting out of the house, we got to get this guy on the pod here soon. I know he wanted things to kind of get assembled and assorted, whether it was a head coaching job or an assistant Ozzo, but that's Dave Hakstol. Dave Hakstol, couple clicks. Heading to the Mile High City, Ozzo. Hack going to be joining Jared Bednar, good Sasky fella on the staff there in Colorado with the Avalanche. Great hire by the Avs, bringing in Hack, a 2-time National League head coach. He's actually a team. He was coaching with the Seattle Kraken. He upset the Avalanche about 3 or 4 years ago. So a great hire by Bednar. Hack obviously overqualified to be an assistant, but it's good to see him back in the league. Good to see him back in hockey. Talked to him throughout the whole process, a little bit here and there, just touch and go. And it ultimately, clearly wanted a head coaching job with all the vacancies, but it didn't work out. But hey, he's back in the league. He's going to be on a great team. Last time he did this, Ozzo, he wasn't an assistant for long. I think he did 1 year under Mike Babcock and then got the head job in Seattle. So good to see Hack back. Thoughts on that, brother? But anything?
I'm happy for him. He's got to feel more at home. I know a guy like that. He's probably rolling around in his bed at night thinking about coaching when he doesn't have a job. So I'm just happy for his well-being. Great get by the Colorado Avalanche. This guy, he's just – we speak highly of him, Jordo, but I think, this guy is just – especially I've never seen him in an assistant role, Jordo, but – he's got to be such a beauty in an assistant role, because he gets it, and he knows what the boys are feeling. So I don't know. I'd be curious to see what those boys think of him with the Avalanche this year, but I think it's going to be a great hire. I'm pumped for Hack, man, because I know how bad that guy wanted to be behind the bench again.
100%. I think I saw a glimpse of what he was as an assistant in Toronto, just at training camp and being around that staff. A lot more smiles and a lot more just, personable with the guys. Everything that you don't get to be with the fellas as a head coach, you are as an assistant. And I even think now, just seeing him, Ozzo, and you've seen him a couple of times since he's been out of the game for a year, is he's so much more relaxed and so much more at ease. And I think he's going to be able to bring everything that he's learned from all of his coaching stops, but then apply the human aspect of it. And I've seen way more personality out of Hack than I've ever seen in my life. And I think that comes with just experience, different stops, and ultimately maturing and evolving as a human, where he's a cool dude, man. Like he's on our golf trip. He's a cool dude. Like he can fit in
he's just a really cool dude.
Right. And you bring that to a team, and especially with a long year, and then you bring knowledge on top of that and player evaluation. Like he's going to be so good for that team.
Oh, yeah, he's going to be, and it's probably something no one will ever see, but he's definitely going to bring a lot to that team. I mean, he wasn't even working, Jordo, for anyone. I mean, he was just watching hockey. Like he was watching clips, watching tape, just watching players. So, yeah, he's going to be a huge part of that team. It'd be fun to watch the coach's room just to see what he can bring, because you're right. He has matured and evolved into such a different coach, but I think it's for the better because, he started out when we were with him at North Dakota. He was such a hard ass, but obviously all of us respected him, and you got to do things a little bit differently in the NHL when you're dealing with these guys who are getting paid $10 million a year. And I think he's a guy who's always adapted and learned and evolved to, make himself successful. And, as the years go by, I would bet my life that we'll see him be the head coach of a National Hockey League team again. This is just another step in his path.
Yeah, and it was crazy just talking to him, where people don't even know this, but he was flying around to different cities, watching different games. He was going to American League cities, Azo, even, and watching games. He was flying in to watch different college teams play. He was watching NHL hockey. He was watching Instat. That's a website or software program that you can watch all of the games in virtually any league. It's just the guy never quit. The guy never stopped watching hockey. I mean, one time I talked to him, he was in Bakersfield. It's like, what, dude, what are you doing in Bakersfield? You're making $3 million this year, I'm pretty sure, getting paid by Seattle still. And he's over there in Bakersfield watching the fucking Commodores versus the Ontario Reign on a goddamn Tuesday. What? Besides,
how insane is that?
I mean, besides the Deja Vu strip club there, what else they got in Bakersfield?
No, it's actually kind of a scary city to go to. I've heard. Like,
so,
it's not Stockton, but
you know, it's just like the guy had no quit. He knew he was going to be back in the league. Obviously, he wanted a head coaching job. And I think, well, it was just hard too, because Seattle, you can't go back there. Philly was another team that needed a coach. So right away, there's 2 teams you can't go out of the 5 vacancies. So I think you're right, Ozzo. He'll get another chance. Just going to have to be patient. And that could come from a year from now or 2 or 3. But it's just good to see him back in the league that he belongs in.
And didn't Seattle just relieve Bilesma of his duties too?
Yes. Yeah. Yep.
He's got to be feeling a little. I think we've touched on this, but he's got to be feeling a little good about that. It's like they fire him, and then Bilesma comes in, and I don't think they did nearly as good as Hack did. So Seattle's got to be thinking, "What the hell did we just do?"
Yeah. 100%. And that was a weird one too, where they fired that coach Disco Dan, right? And they reappointed Ronnie Francis, Jason Botterill, now the GM there, and he hasn't been in the league in terms of a GM in quite some time, since his Buffalo Sabres days, where he blew that thing up into pieces. And then they hired Lane Lambert. So that whole carousel in Seattle is just a revolving door at this point. So he's probably chuckling at that one. Obviously, Philly, he figured, I've been there already. I'm not going to go back. And there was a couple jobs I thought would have been good spots for him. I thought probably Boston would have been a great spot. Veteran team with, some young pieces they could have had. Now, they didn't have the best free agency, so maybe it works out for the best there. Dallas, I thought, was another spot that, would have been a solid get for him. But again, they went with that Glenn Gullickson or Glutzen from over there in Edmonton. So I just thought, you know what? Go buy your time, Ozzo, and then maybe go win a cup. And then, wow, every team wants winners, right? It's just that's how it goes. So yeah, shout out to Hack. Fired up to see him. He's coming to the Coldplay concert in a couple of weeks, so he'll be down there with Jackson and Uncle Rico. So I can't wait to see their chins back in Madison. Ozzo, lastly, brother, before we get to the people's term of the week, I just want to touch on it. Now, after Wimbledon is over, I don't know if you've been keeping up with it, but it's been a great tournament so far. Do we enter like this 6 weeks of the most boring stretch of the summer? Because it essentially just becomes baseball. And until the U.S. Open Labor Day weekend, where it gets hot for the golf, the Open Championship, but there's really nothing. It's just baseball, bro. Like, it just gets to a point where you're like, holy fuck, like, you just got to go to the lake every weekend because there's nothing on.
Yeah, you gotta read books, sit outside, you gotta do something.
Paint pretty pictures.
And it sucks because there's no reason to have the boys over on a Friday night or anything, or go somewhere to watch a game. So you're missing that. It definitely sucks. It's the worst time, and obviously the Wimbledon going on right now, though, that's unreal to watch. By the way. It's always fun to watch. We got one American, Taylor Fritz, in the semifinal, and Benny Shelton playing Yannick Sinner pretty soon here, I think. Tomorrow, maybe, even today, later today. I'm not sure.
Yep. Yeah, Fritz won in the quarterfinal earlier today. We're recorded on Tuesday. Sabalenka greased one out in 3 sets. That was a little scary. I'm trying to think. Did Navarro play today? I don't know if she did.
Navarro played yesterday, I thought.
Did she win? Did Sneaky 7 win? I'm pretty sure she did, didn't she?
She was down one set when I last saw.
Oh, it looks like she lost. Yeah, she lost. Yeah, she lost to Mira Andreeva. She's a good player. The Czech. She lost last night.
Yeah, she looked dialed.
4-4.
The Czech girl looked dialed.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't mind Shelton's game. I'm not obsessed with any of the Americans, to be honest, but it's good to see that we have a couple left.
Yeah, I mean, Benny Shelton's playing good. Taylor Fritz. I think it's the first time an American's made the semifinal at the Wimbledon in quite some time.
Yeah, so tomorrow off the box, the Jokers look good too. We got a center court. We have Koboli versus Joker, then center Shelton court 1. That's tomorrow 6:30 a.m. And then obviously Fritz Magic going off the next day. But yeah, especially this time of the tournament, it's hard to get dialed in early on just because of the time difference, especially out here in Phoenix. Like, how many days in a row can you saddle up and watch a 3-hour match at 9 a.m. in the morning? It's usually I just catch the highlights, but right now is getting down to the nitty gritty, and man, playing on grass, it just looks so sick. Like, oh,
how fun does that look?
It's so butter. Yeah.
Can you play on grass anywhere in America? Can you like play tennis on grass if you're not a member of a 250K initiation country club?
Yeah, that's the thing. There's a place called Desert Mountain out here. It's North Scottsdale, honestly, pretty close to the Buffalo Chip. Shout out to the Chip. They have all 3 surfaces, Ozzo. How sick is that?
That's nails.
But I've never been out there. I've been trying to work my way and grease my way in.
You gotta be an elite to get in there.
Well, you just gotta be a member. And you need to play with a member the whole time too, right? So I've had a couple situations, we'll say, that fell through. I was maybe gonna play one-on-one with someone of the opposite sex, and it just, we went our other ways. So it's just, so I'm trying to get it in, is what I'm saying. Maybe not with her, but it was
you're working on it.
That was about a year ago. I just fell through. So but I got to get out there because clay would be butter, but grass would be so sick. So hopefully Nikki Lapointe, my tennis coach, can get me dialed in and we could play someday out there because he's got some ins around here. But Azo, the people's term of the week is very on brand with the Joey Chestnut talk. And this week, the People's Insider term of the week is barrel. Now, we all respect a nice barrel. We all respect a nice guzzy. A guy that can strap a car tire around his midsection and just rock it. There's nothing better than seeing just a respectable barrel, especially at the beach. A guy that has no shame in showing off his midsection, his stomach that is just oozing out of his skin. It almost looks like he's probably pregnant with triplets, but he doesn't give a fuck because he's eating hot dogs. He's eating nachos. He's drinking beer. He's got that all-American gluten-filled barrel that is just so respectable and a tip of the cap you give every time when you see one. This guy doesn't work out. Why would he? He has an absolute barrel. And the best thing about the barrel, Azo, is usually these guys, when they're walking around, they could care less. They're happy. They're fat and happy. So I wanted you to say some couple words on the barrel if you got anything, but the barrel is so sick.
There's nothing more nails than a barrel, a good barrel, because the guys with the good barrel, they don't give a fuck.
No.
They actually think it's sick, which it is. I think about myself, Jordo, and I look in the mirror and sometimes I'm like, getting a little barrel, I got to cut back. God. Yep. And then I think, God, I'm soft for thinking that. I wish I was one of those guys who could just give me a barrel and let me rock it. There's nothing better than the guys who rock it out at the beach too. You see some of the guys with barrels, they're wearing t-shirts, and you're like, buddy, you got the barrel.
Just air it out.
Just get it out there. It's okay. We can still see it underneath that t-shirt of yours. So you might as well just get it out there.
Yeah, don't be hitting the beach or the pool with a shirt on and then you got the swim shirt. Just rock your fucking barrel. Rock it strong. And the best ones, Azo, are the barrels that are rock hard. Like they literally look like they're just extremely just filled to the max. Like that is a full barrel where it's not like loose skin. It's just a rock in your pouch. It's almost like a kangaroo. It's like a kangaroo.
How does it look so hard?
That's what I mean.
There's no like flab to it.
No,
it's just it looks like a brick wall. If you punched it, you might break your wrist.
Like, did you give your barrel? Is there barrel Cialis? How did you get that hard of a barrel? So, shout out to those guys rocking those, Ozzo. That is the People's Insider term of the week. Is just a nice barrel. Ozzo, I know you got to get running, brother. Thank you for doing this. Tape to tape with UCAP all day, every day, twice on Sundays. Until next week, folks, Mini Movers Butter Golf, the official sponsors of Live in 5. Folks, that was episode 91 coming across your chin. Woo!